you should know what are the customers' initiatives to survive the present, what are the customers' initiatives to accelerate the rise, and what are the customers' initiatives to maximize market opportunity. Correct? And you should be able to align your project to their initiatives. That is what is key. Correct? Now, what is happening is that we have a project, they are unable to connect the dots to their priorities, which is what this guy is suffering from. He's saying, look, I don't see the value. Right? In fact, our responsibility as salespeople is to make it effortless for the customer to understand us. That is our job, actually. Right? So, what we should go ahead and write down, you can write down this statement. How does our value show up on my customers' business results? How does our value show up on my customers' business results? Correct? This is what we have to make it effortless for our customer to understand. Very clearly. Right? Now I'm going to test all of you in your knowledge of the customer. So whether it's going to be Vassal, whether it's going to be Tata AIG, whether it's going to be Century BPO, or there is my good friend Varad, yeah, okay, or whether it's going to be Asian Paints, I'm going to test your understanding of the customer. What I want you to do is to go ahead and build one initiative each. Okay, and I'm going to give you a simple format in which you can craft your customer's initiative. Okay, I'll write down. This is what I call critical thinking format. Critical thinking framework. It works like this. Achieve what by how, from X to Y by when. This is the critical thinking framework. And remember, if you are going ahead and handling a customer, right, the what is the goal that the customer wants to achieve. The how are the three strategies that they have to achieve that goal. The X and Y are the measures of the what. The when is the date by when the customer will achieve the goal. Okay? So here in this case of AIG Nickel, maybe the customer's goal is increase healthcare penetration, healthcare vertical penetration. And then they have three different strategies, right? One of the strategies is to ensure contact center efficacy, right? And then you go ahead and say healthcare penetration right now is 5%. They want to move it to 20% by 31st March 2022, whatever. So each one of you should understand your customers first. Only when you understand what exactly are their initiatives are you able to align your projects to their initiatives. Am I making sense? Right? So let me go ahead and give you a simple way in which you should go ahead and think about a customer. When you work with customers, please remember the customer has got what we call as a business vision. To support this business vision, your customer will have what we call business projects. To implement these projects, your customer will require what we call business capabilities. To open up these business capabilities, they would need IT capabilities. Correct? These IT capabilities needs to be mapped to your capabilities. And then it needs to be mapped to your products/services. Right? Now, what happens, Nikhil, and I go ahead and engage across the globe, across different customers, what happens is that most often there is a cut here. Correct? We don't connect it back to the business. That is the problem. Please remember, correct? When you think about it from a profitability perspective, 80% of the profitability is here, 20% of the profitability is here. The more you are able to go ahead and move up the value chain, this is what I call connect the dots. The more you are able to connect the dots, the better is you're able to monetize the opportunity. Am I making sense, Nikhil?
Yes, sir.
Right? So here in this case, with Mapla or Malpa, right? So with Malpa, we have stopped with IT.
Sir, actually, Malpa, she is from business team actually.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, but the fact is, she is unable to connect the dots from her understanding of your capability to the business capabilities and the projects that your COOs run. Correct? So that is where the problem is. Okay. So please remember, remember I told you 10.2 decision makers and all of that? Correct? So when there is a whole bunch of decision makers, let's say there are a bunch of decision makers, what you have to do is to look at what I call getting individual yes from every decision maker, and you have to move it to what I call collective yes from the decision making committee. Am I making sense? So right now, we have got one individual yes, which is Malpa. Correct? Remember, there are lots more decision makers, Nikhil. You have to get a yes from them. Most importantly, we have to go ahead and get a collective yes from the organization. That is when this project will happen. I want to take a pause here. I can see many of you thinking. What are you thinking, Rajesh?
You are very much in line. I think this is what practically works, and if you connect the dots, the things moves. And very rightly said, the 80% things actually gets converted from the business teams and perspectives.
Yeah. So remember, 80% of the profitability is there, Rajesh.
Even in the decision making also they contribute
Exactly. Remember,
of course, I understand. If the business buyout happens, they force IT, to take the decision, and that automatically forces they to take the decision in your favor, and of course you can create more revenue for you.
Absolutely. Right. So when we go ahead and engage this way, please remember people who are below the line. These are the people who will have what I call product conversations.
Yeah.
Right? Above the line is where you have possibility conversations.
So.
Right? what are the possibilities for the business? That's what we go ahead and do. So what we need to change, Nikhil, is rather than push, we need to create the pull. The only way we can create the pull is when we align to their highest priorities. And then you connect the dots. Because unless you are able to connect the dots and make it effortless for them, they will not be able to do it. So you can then go ahead and say, for Tata AIG to move out of the current slump, when you focus on the healthcare sector, one of the key elements of addressing is the efficacy of your contact center. What if your contact center is able to reduce costs by 20% and able to increase customer reach and the analytics which gives you the insights and foresights that will help you to grow your business by an additional 3 points? What will that mean to you? That's the key. And when you speak like that to the CEO, he'll say, please sit down, right? I mean, get him a cup of coffee. I want to talk more, right? We go out and say, sir, our contact center solution is the greatest. We will change life and all of that. They will send you out. That's the key, right? That's what we'll have to be careful about. Okay. So I just want to take a pause. Any questions here?
Yeah, Venkat, I have one.
Yes, Rajan, I was thinking he's in post-lunch stupor. He has woken up now.
So I think it's talking about IT capabilities and business capabilities, but most of the projects that we come across, and we all have spent good time in say, generally the IT is most of the organizations are the one driving the project, right? And they at times, or most of the times, they act as a gatekeeper. I think they'll not let you go and interact with business directly, and they would like everything to happen through them. And that's currently become tricky for us as well, because one of the points that you mentioned earlier was politics, right? Process, people, politics. This is where the politics starts coming in. So how do we circumvent this? I know most of us face this problem, right? I think we know that we have to go and meet the CEO or have to go and talk to a business head. But the IT head will say, no, I'm doing that internally. You don't have to go and do that. So very basic stuff, but some comments from you probably will help us.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking, Ranjan. Most important, correct? So remember what I said about an ideal sales call: one step forward, one level above.
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah. Now the only way we can do one step forward and one level above is when we showcase 3 capabilities, Ranjan. You can note those 3 capabilities. Every salesperson has to have these 3. The first one is called business acumen. The second one is called financial acumen. The third one is called executive conversations. Correct? So business acumen, meaning talking the language of business. Financial acumen, meaning talking the language of money. Executive conversations, meaning talking the language of senior executives. The more and more we speak the language of technology, we are in the prison of the CIO. If you want to escape from this prison, you have to showcase these 3 capabilities. Please remember, if the CIO has to take you upstairs, they need to feel comfortable and confident that you will make them proud when you take them upstairs. That is the key. If they feel that, oh my God, if I take this guy, I'll be dead, they will not take you. Right? So they need to feel proud, comfortable, confident that they will look like a hero when they take you upstairs. Am I making sense?
Yeah. So primarily is talking business language with IT fellow. That's what.
That is the key. And this is where I want to go ahead and talk to you about personal motivators. This is extremely important, correct? Please remember, human beings operate at two levels. One is rationally, the second is emotionally, correct? Your customers may talk about organizational priorities, but every human being is driven by self-interest. Would you agree with me, Varad?
Yep.
Every human being is driven by self-interest, which is what is in it for me, correct? So the fact is, in addition to the business value that you're creating, you need to align the business value to the personal motivation of the person, right? And when you think about personal motivation, there are 7 personal motivators. All of you write these down. 7 personal motivators. Every human being has this. Our job is to find out what motivates the customer. The first one is called recognition. Second is achievement. Third is power. Fourth is money. Fifth, very important, fear. Sixth is affiliation. And the 7th is harmony. Okay? So you should know what is motivating your customer. You should be able to align this. So in your case, Nikhil, right, if you are positioning for this project, in addition to the business value of your proposal, when you speak to the COO, you will go ahead and say, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to showcase to the CEO how we can optimize the business even in a challenging environment. Think about his recognition when he sees that you are able to find opportunities that are hidden in plain sight. His respect for you will go up. Do you think you would be able to help us get this project across the line? So please always go ahead and align it to the personal motivators. Please remember, when human beings, when customers talk to you, they go ahead and talk to you about, we want to achieve this. What you have to discover is, what do I want, right? What do they want? We have to discover. When we speak to customers, right, we have to go ahead and talk about what you will get. And then finally, you talk about what they will get. Am I making sense here?
Sir.
Right? When the customer speaks to you, they will talk about what we want to achieve in the organization. What is unspoken is, what do I want? When you speak to the customer, first talk about what you will get, which is the individual, then talk about what they will get, which is the organization. Right? So, in a way, sequencing is the essence of sales experience. How we speak is more important than what we speak. Am I making sense? Right? So that's what we have to be very, very clear about. Okay? Varad, you're thinking.
I'm good. Makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. So from now on, please remember, we have to align it to people. Think about what our solution does. Our solution helps our customers to gain more power through the power of insight. They help our customers to have a sense of achievement because they can show more efficiency. They have the potential to gain more recognition because they are running a better business. Right? So things like that is what we should go ahead and highlight. What is in it for them? Please also remember, Ranjan, Middle East, it's a relationship driven business. It's a ego driven business. The sheikh wants his ego to be rubbed, right? So you need to go ahead and talk about what they will get before you go ahead and talk about what their organization will get. That is the key, right? How they will look smart by choosing you, right? That's what we will have to focus on. So, yeah, please remember, the reason we are spending so much time on deal qualification and all of that is because our personal credibility is at stake, right? So, irrespective of what the customer is doing, when we make commitments, we should meet commitments, correct? Sometimes I call it self-trust. That means when some words come out of our mouth, we should mean what comes out of our mouth. That is what is key, right? So in your case, Amey, right, remember that you have got a difficult customer, but you have got a business to run,
Right.
correct? And you report into Varad,
Yes.
correct? And Varad will go ahead and ask you what's happening on DCB. Boss, it's coming, right?
Yeah.
It's coming not this quarter, next quarter. Next quarter, he asks the same question, boss, next quarter. Like that, it's gone for 2 years. Please remember that we are measured by our quality of our commitments, right? It's not just here. Please remember, all of you are leaders. When you grow as leaders, it's the quality of your commitments that make a difference, right? So we need to ensure that we abstract all the craziness of the customer and we take a judgment call whether we should do it or not.
Okay.
In fact, the art of deal qualification is qualifying out rather than qualifying in. So the first decision you need to make is this customer worth it? When the customer is saying the price is too high, Amey, value is missing from the equation,
Okay.
right? When the customer is saying price is too high, in addition to value, differentiation is missing from the equation, right? So we have to solve for these two, right? So in fact, if I have to give you a simple equation for selling, right? I can give you a simple equation. You can go ahead and look at the screen. Is equal to value multiplied by differentiation multiplied by control. This is all multiplication. If any one is 0, deal is 0. Simple multiplication. So is the customer saying that there is value? Is the customer saying there is differentiation? Do we have control? That's it.